Hello, hello. Nobody's here. Hey, hey, Alicia Baker. I'm trying to get there's this fly over here that's bugging me right now. Say hi, Lenny. Say hi as you guys are hopping on, so I know that you're here. It's trying to go live in all the places so we can one and done this thing. Say hi, say hi. This is saying I have poor connection though. How's the connection for you guys that are watching? Okay, now I've got good connection. Not sure what's going on here. Say hi, so I know you're here. And I'm gonna try to get this shared to the places. Okay. Now let's try this again. See if it's gonna work now. It doesn't like this position right here. Maybe it likes it better over here. I don't know. See if it works. Okay. Now here we are in all the places. So how's the streaming on Facebook? It's been really off lately. Hopefully it's good. So I wanted to hop on for a minute because I woke up this morning and I'm actually down in Uluwatu. I should show you guys this because it's ridiculously gorgeous. Current breakfast views. But I woke up this morning and I subscribe to this thing called My Podcast Reviews, and so it notifies me every time I get a review on my podcast, and I can kind of keep track of like what's happening in what parts of the world and where the podcast is being listened to and all of this. So this morning I wake up and I have an email that I have a new review, and I'm like, I always get excited when I get new reviews because I want to go listen to them and, you know, see like what the people have to say. And this review was like, it was a 1-star review. I'm surprised they even gave me one, probably because they just had to give me 1 star. But it was a 1-star review, and the person commented, it said like, worst podcast ever. I posted the review in my Instagram feed, so you'll have to go check it out there. But it was just this horrible review. It was like worst podcast ever. Snake oil salesman that thinks that she can bend matter. Like, are you kidding me? This is a joke or something. And then it was like, and then it said, oh, and I've heard she's #fake. So I and it's like, I remember, like, when I first started this business, and I would get so upset about these things. Like, I would really get, like, my feelings hurt, like when people didn't like me, or when people were, upset about my connection's not good on Instagram, I guess. But when people would, I would get hurt. And, of course, like, do I like getting reviews like that? No. Do I, is it hurtful? Yes, of course it is. Like, I'm still human. I still feel, I still feel the sting. But, I think that I also realize now that if I'm not getting reviews like that, I'm not actually stepping fully into my message. And, I think that it's so fitting that this review would come through right now, like as I'm launching this Heretic Business Accelerator, because this is what it's about, right? It's about sharing the message authentically, and it's about the message not being necessarily in alignment with what the status quo is or what the majority of the world believes. And so I was kind of laughing about the, like, bending matter, and I don't know what episode it was that I was talking about that in, so I'm gonna have to go back and, like, check it out and maybe listen to the episode again. But maybe someone that's watching knows, that listens to the podcast. But I was chuckling because I'm like, human beings bend matter with their mind every single day. It's called manifestation. We do it every moment of every day. We are creating our reality. We're literally bending matter with our mind every second of every day, because our thoughts become our reality. Now I'm going to try to drink my coffee. Thank you. Look how good this is. So I'm kind of on, it's a day off today. I'm kind of on a little mini vacation. I'm supposed to be golfing right now, but I had some work that I needed to get done for Heretic, actually. And so I'm sitting out here and enjoying these absolutely beautiful views. I am drinking an almond cappuccino. Look at this red pepper Mary, Bloody Mary, that just got delivered to me. Is that not look delicioso? The earrings, yeah, so these earrings are Little Brown Wren, Kim Harland Wheeler, Little Brown Wren. They're amazing, black tourmaline. I'm repelling all the negative energy that's being sent my way today. But they're also dendritic opal and moonstone, I think. Yeah, moonstone. Instagram's not cooperating with this live today. I don't know what's going on. It keeps saying poor connection. Is the connection okay on Facebook? I don't know. Instagram's being finicky today. So if you're trying to watch on Instagram and it's not working well, then just head on over to Facebook, maybe, if you're on the Facebooks. But yeah, I mean, and I just was laughing so hard because I'm like, I remember, like, very early let's just put it this way. There are lots of people in this world that don't like me. And, part of when my business collapsed, and, we lost a lot of money, and there were other people involved in that company. And, there's a lot of haters out there in the world, a lot of people that don't like me, and a lot of people that don't like that I, fully stepped into custodianship of what was business responsibility and what was my life. But it's just, it's fascinating to me because I've always sort of dealt with this at some level, this 5/1 projector energy, and just living my life always having to be all or everything to everyone, and the incredible amount of projections that come with this profile type. And I think several years ago, probably I'd say 4 or 5 years ago, is really when I got to the point where I was like, you know what, I'm done with this. Like, I am done trying to be all things to all people. I'm done trying to make everybody like me. I am done trying to be the perfect version of a mother, a wife, a friend, a daughter, a granddaughter. I spent so many years trying to live up to other people's perceptions and projections, and fix their projections if they were having projections, and prove that I wasn't the projections that they were having if those projections were negative. And often prove that the projections were correct when they were pedestaling me. And it was exhausting, and I was completely miserable. It literally was as I was going through the spiral that with Dane Thomas that I was like, I'm not here for this anymore. Like, I'm not going to do this anymore. I need to figure out who I am and what my morals are and what my values are and how I want to show up in the world, and the person that I want to present to the world. And the only person that can decide that, and the only person that it matters, who cares, is me. And it was a big transition of having to step into like just taking radical self-responsibility and accountability and figuring out who I was, and then not accepting people's perceptions and projections anymore. And then, and even more, and I think the biggest and the hardest part was to stop trying to live up to those perceptions and those projections. It's just, it's not an easy thing to do. And a lot of people didn't like that. A lot of people still don't like that. But what I gained through that was I actually got to a place where I started to understand and realize and know who Leah is, and actually what Leah cares about, and who she wants to show up in the world as. And and I realized, I think for the first time, that I actually liked that person, because I was so busy deflecting negative projections and, trying to live up to positive projections, that I didn't even really know if I liked myself, And the more I've stepped into self-responsibility and accountability and just really being okay with who I am and my sovereignty and doing my work that I'm meant to do in the world, whether people like it or not, whether people call me a snake oil salesman or not. Sorry, there's bugs flying all over here. The more happy I've been, and the more authentic I've been able to be, and the more vulnerable I've been able to be, and the more transparent I've been able to be, and not everybody likes me, and not everybody's going to like me. And, often my clients go through this where they have a phase where they absolutely love me and pedestal me, and then I do something that triggers them or call them to the carpet on something, and then they get pissed at me, and then they don't like me. I often have people leave my community, and then come back a couple years later after they've worked through the trigger. And I literally get messages all the time like, oh yeah, I unfollowed you, I unfriended you, I didn't like that you said this, but now I've worked through my stuff. And it's like, for me, I own that ability to be the mirror. I own that ability to hold the mirror for the very best parts of yourself and the very worst parts of yourself. And I'm unapologetic in how I do my work in the world. And that triggers and pisses people off a lot as well. And I've just, kind of become okay with that. And I'm still human. And, so those types of comments still hurt. But it's like, what I've learned to do is enable that, let that enable me to step more into who I am, and to fuel the work that I do in the world, and to fuel my message, and to get me, sharing more, not less, of myself. Because before, that kind of stuff would make me close down, shut down. I'd question myself, I'd start to get imposter syndrome. I'd start to believe the comments. And now I just chuckle and I'm like, you know what? You're not doing it the right way if everybody likes you. And so, yeah, I've just really been journeying that. And, so I launched this business accelerator, which I'm so excited about. And there's, 38 incredible women in there right now. Already deep diving into pre-work. We start on the 24th, and I've actually extended applications through the 24th, so I'm leaving the applications open till the 24th. So still have an opportunity to apply and come join me in this 2-week no bullshit business accelerator for the renegade rule breakers. But it's like no coincidence that this comes through today, right? As I'm launching this program, and I'm like, well, you know, my beliefs are very much against the status quo. I am in full embracing of my inner heretic, and I recognize and realize that a lot of people don't like that, and a lot of people aren't going to like that. You know, and do I believe that I can bend matter with my mind? Absolutely. I do it every single day, and every single one of you that are watching do it as well. You may not know you're doing it, but you're doing it. But the whole, you know, the snake oil salesman is the part that just cracks me up. Because I think, like, if you're, you know, if you're a spiritual practitioner, if you're an energy healer, certainly if you're a spiritual practitioner, if you're an person who does emotional clearing work, like, you've probably at some point been called a snake oil salesman, right? If you're a chiropractor, you've been called a quack at some point. Like, alternate spiritual, you know, technologies and techniques and modalities, they are not in the status quo. Like, if you are doing one of those things, you're already embracing your inner heretic. But I really do believe that, like, right now in life, it's really, really important to be embracing of this, and to be standing up. Like, you know, I'm obviously so happy to see so many people across the world standing up against the tyranny that we're experiencing at a global level. But I just, you know, I really feel like we need more of that, but we need more of it in the purpose work that we're doing in the world. And I know how challenging it can be to decide to step fully into the work that you're here to do in the world. And you know, often it's so radically different than what the masses believe or what's acceptable in mainstream society. Like, you didn't incarnate on this planet at this time to just follow the herd and go along with the masses. Like, if you are here to do big work in the world, and if you're watching this live stream, then I'm assuming that you are, because you wouldn't have been magnetized into this transmission today if you weren't. You are here to rock the boat. You are here to be radical in your thoughts and in your theories and in your teachings. And I know that that can be scary, because what's happened in the past to heretics? Well, they get labeled heretics and then they get killed, usually. And we have a new kind of death these days, right? It's called cancel culture. And so while we may not be being, you know, hung from trees and burned at the stake for heresy these days, we get canceled. If we're rocking the boat too much, or if we're going too much outside the status quo, or too much outside what the establishment thinks that we should be saying, thinking, feeling, doing. But what I want you to hear is that we need you doing that now more than we ever have, I think, perhaps in the entire history of humanity on this planet, because we're really at this crossroads. And you didn't come here to play it safe. You didn't come here to just share the parts of yourself and the parts of your message that would be accepted by, you know, even the masses of the spiritual community, right? Because the spiritual community has tons of its own programming and conditioning and dogma and fuckery that it's dealing with. But it's time to break out of what's okay and normal and acceptable, because we're not going to change the world. We're not going to change this reality. We're not going to change what's happening on this planet with safety, with playing it safe. And I scroll through Facebook every day and I see people putting offers out into the world, and I can energetically feel their desire for safety in how they're putting their message out into the world. There are very few people in my sphere of awareness that I feel like really truly rock the boat and just give no fucks. There's a few of them. There's a few. My husband's definitely one of them. He's full heretic, fully rocking the boat every day. Dane Thomas is another one. Sigourney Bell is another one. You know, I see some people who are really truly willing to step into radical anarchy and heresy, but I don't see many people doing that. And I think right now, with where we are and the crossroads that we're at right now, it's really important that we take full responsibility for the work that we're here to do, and that we bring that level of responsibility into how the offers that we're putting out into the world and how we're charging for those. Because if you are just putting out something that is creating a little bit of transformation but is acceptable, versus you're putting out something that you know is radically transformative and is going to change the face of humanity on this planet, but it feels scary and it feels like, you know, you wonder if anyone's going to sign up for it because it's so radical and it's so out there. Each and every one of us have that radical out there program in us, right? We have that, or offer, or service, or product. I'm obviously in the online service-based space, so that's why I'm speaking to that. But, you know, obviously not everybody's purpose is to provide online services. So yours might be a product, yours might be an idea, yours might be a teaching, it may be a book. You know, there's a lot. And you can fit into many categories. But we need your radical ideas right now. We need your radically transformative ideas, because even if it only radically transforms one person or two people or three people, that's a lot better than a little bit of transformation that leaves people hanging of many people, if that makes sense. We've been doing the little bit of transformation for a really long time, and it's not getting us anywhere. And so it's really time, I believe, to step into the radical transformation and to dive deeply into our knowing about the work that we're supposed to be doing in the world, and then deliver that. And if it's scary, you're on the right track. And if you feel like nobody's gonna buy it or sign up for it or believe it, you're on the right track. And so, yeah, I just, you know, I really just want to encourage you to challenge yourself, push yourself, do it the hard way, dig deeper, go to the places that are more scary, and trust yourself is the other thing. It's about trust. And yeah, so those are just my thoughts for the morning. Not a real long live stream today, but those are my thoughts. And I'm super excited to be taking this 2-week business accelerator journey, Heretic. So if you're ready to dive deeply into who you are and the work that you're meant to be doing on this planet right now, and maybe infuse a little revitalization and rebirth and life into your businesses, and get more clear on what the radical transformation is that you're meant to be delivering to the planet, then I would love for you to come and join us in Heretic. It is $333 for 2 weeks with me, intensive weeks. And it's kind of like leading the way into my next radically transformative offering, which is going to be Wealth Warrior, which is a 6-month business mastermind with me. But they are freestanding, and I would love for you to join me if you are interested. If you're watching on Instagram, you can go to the link in my bio, and that link in my bio will lead you to the application for Heretic. And if you are watching on Facebook, I'm going to get you the link. Hold on one second. I'll drop it in the comments. Let's see here. Okay, so that's it from me today. I'm gonna go enjoy my Bloody Mary and my cappuccino. And I didn't golf this morning. Everyone else is golfing. Donna, I'm golfing tomorrow. I had work to do, so I'm working. All right, love you guys.